Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, everybody out there simply knows, and Hollywood cannot deny the fact that The Marvels was an absolute disastrous dumpster fire. Disney knows that they had a box office bomb on their hands, and well, it failed to launch in every way, shape, or form. And while we'll color us shocked there, it was about three females that literally nobody knew much about. Brie Larson's character of Captain Marvel, which is completely and totally different from the character that everybody knows and loves in the comics, is universally pretty much disliked by the majority of the fans out there. And at the end of the day, nobody wanted this movie, nobody desired it. It was something they had to get off their chest, and well, it turned into a disastrous dumpster fire. Well, if the latest rumors can be believed, and I do think they're pretty obvious of a situation out there, it looks like even after the disastrous dumpster fire that was the Marvels and the box office bomb that cost them hundreds of millions of dollars, it looks like Brie Larson's feet and all of the rest of her will be coming back for Avengers Doomsday, if the latest rumors can be believed, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details and see exactly what this thing has to say and see what we think about it. Also with some of the comments from Brie Larson about the character as well, some of the newer ones. We're going to rehash every single one of the old ones out there. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Does it surprise you that Disney is actually going to bring her back for this Doomsday, or is it one of those situations where you think you really don't have much of a choice? You've got to bring her back at some point in order to write her off. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. Obviously, I'm not going to ask if any of you are excited to see her come back. So from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet John F. Trent. After the Marvel's catastrophic, such a good word, box office bomb, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, rumored to be one of the main characters in Avengers Doomsday. A new rumor alleges that Brie Larson's Captain Marvel will be one of the main characters in Avengers Doomsday. Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus conducted a Q&A with his followers and was asked by one about when Captain Marvel will show up next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I want to stop right there before we even get his answer, okay? First off, Cosmic Circus is something that I don't know exactly how long they've been around, but I've noticed them more and more becoming a little more prevalent. A lot of people are reporting on their scoops. I don't know how accurate they have been in the past. It seems like they'd had a lot of misses according to what I'd been hearing out there, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are reporting on Cosmic Circus. So we will obviously find out if they're right or not. But honestly, this isn't exactly much of a stretch. Right? To be completely honest, I'd like to have her come back, considering the fact that she is an Avenger, right? She's one of the few Avengers left that's not dead or missing or something like that right now. So it's one of them situations where it would make sense for her to come back in Doomsday, which is exactly what he's going to say here. So as always, this is just rumor mill, so take all of it with a grain of salt. But like I said, I don't know Cosmic Circus enough as like I do with WDW Pro and some of the rest of the people out there that have been right in the past. So definitely take this with a little extra grain of salt. Perez responded that he wouldn't be surprised if she showed up in Spider-Man 4. To be honest, however, your best bet for the next appearance will be in Avengers Doomsday. Well, she will be one of the main characters in that movie. Like I said, that should not come as a big shocker for you. It's going to be an Avengers movie. She's still technically an Avenger. Why wouldn't you bring her back for that? And like I said, I've talked about this several times in the past in a lot of my different videos out there that I do believe that that the whole Secret Wars Doomsday situation is going to be Kevin Feige's excuse to clean house and get rid of and erase a lot of the characters that aren't working and potentially bring back a lot of the ones that fans know and love. We'll see what happens, but that's my current prediction on that. In response to another user who questioned if she would be leading the Avengers in Doomsday and Secret Wars, Perez replied, she will be one of the leading Avengers in these movies, yes. So she's going to be an Avenger, but she's not going to be running around leading the Avengers. She's not going to be in charge of the team out there, which is something that would have been incredibly stupid and probably would have gotten a lot of backlash for the fans. Who they're going to have lead the Avengers? Well, it'll probably end up being Captain Falcon, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, see if what the Russos decide to cook up, because God knows Disney Marvel is desperate right now, which is why they're shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars to bring those guys back, praying to actually right the ship that is the current disaster that Marvel finds itself in. Larson addressed her future with Captain Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in February when she asked by Extra TV, "Can you tell us a little about Marvel and what's coming up for you next in the Marvel project?" She says, "I don't have anything to say about that," which honestly doesn't really lead credence to either way of that, because it's one of them situations where we know the kind of tight lips, the kind of in trouble that these actors get in for leaking stuff out early. I mean, Tom Holland is notorious for doing that kind of stuff, and he's gotten his PP slapped several times for doing that kind of thing, and I'm sure everybody is very well aware now to keep your mouth shut, so she's not saying anything either way. So the rumor comes in the wake of the Marvel's bombing at the box office. The film didn't even gross $200 million worldwide, despite having a production budget upwards of $274 million. The numbers reported that the film only grossed $85.5 million and another $115 internationally for a global of $187. Analysts believe the film lost the Walt Disney Company upwards of $200 million, probably much more than that. After marketing and everything else, you're probably talking upwards of $400 million. It was a huge dumpster fire of a bomb when it comes to all this stuff. So why would you think they would bring her back? Like I said, because she is still considered one of the Avengers, and you can't just leave her off out there. You're going to get a bunch of backlash from all the little psychopaths that you're not trying to deal with anymore. So you're, of course, going to bring her back. Plus, Hollywood's one of them situations where they're all buddy-buddy. They all go to the same cocktail parties. Nobody wants to just completely write off a character like that with Brie Larson, no matter how much she's despised by a lot of the fans out there. Shout out to Ryan Kendall, who thinks he can fix her. It's one of them situations where she's going to come back, because that's not how Hollywood doesn't just run people off like that unless it's something absolutely egregious. So because she still has a good working relationship with Disney Marvel, they're going to bring her back. They're just going to figure out a way to give her a proper send-off and send her on her way. At least that's this humble common nerd's opinion on what the future of Marvel actually holds. So they go through and they talk about all of the rest of the ones, about how she became disillusioned with the character after all the fan backlash, because the Captain Marvel movie was absolute dog trash and everybody roasted the character and she couldn't stand to hear it. But here's one of the things that was interesting on all of this. So when she was talking about whether or not, while she was promoting the Marvels, was asked if she would want to see anything else with the character. So this is where it gets kind of sly. She says, "Oh, goodness gracious. I think there's still so much inside of Carol. I feel like the getting on this team cracked her open in a way she hadn't been. And I really loved that for her. Like, I just loved her just letting her shoulder drop a little bit and not need to feel all the responsibility was on her. So I think there's so much more to go. I mean, she's just a great character to continue to grow with. Like, I'm growing, she's growing. Well, yeah, I don't want Marvel to come for me, but there's just something. There's definitely something to answer your question that I would want to say, but I'm not going to. So I'll just say it's here." She tapped herself on the head, and I hear what you're saying. So I think it's obviously probably going to be pretty apparent that she absolutely will show up in Doomsday. Whether or not she survives Doomsday, whether they'll end up surviving all the way to Secret Wars and end up having her character removed by then, I don't know. But like I said, this is a rumor mill, and it comes from a source that I'm not really all that particularly familiar with, but that part place is publishing it, so I'd imagine John F. Trent probably did his homework on all of this kind of stuff, and he actually knows that maybe these guys have at least been slightly accurate at some point in the past. So at the end of the day, it's one of them situations where we will obviously find out. I think it makes sense. I think it's kind of a duh. I don't think this is some big scoop or some big revelation that she's going to be in this. She's still considered one of the Avengers, and she still has a good working relationship with Disney Marvel. So is she going to come back in Doomsday? Absolutely. I have no doubt in that mind whatsoever. Will she survive Doomsday and Secret Avengers or Secret Wars as well? That is the true question out there. And at the end of the day, Russo brothers, if you give us good movies, we will make you very rich and all the fans will be very, very happy. But if you don't, well, doesn't matter if Brie Larson's involved or not, you will get exactly what you deserve.